for the more tech-savvy among you. Well, let's start this for the people that aren't tech-savvy. The computer problems that I have, basically, I convinced Windows that my primary hard drive, where I keep, everything, doesn't exist. Damn it, not going fast enough. Fog sucks. So for those of you who will understand what master boot records are, last year I took a 1 terabyte hard drive, which was my primary drive, wanted to make my 2 terabyte drive my primary drive, and remove the single. And I didn't want to deal with buying Windows or really even reinstalling it and activating it and all that crap. Just didn't feel like doing it, I was like, let's find another way to do this. And what I did is entirely legal, considering I paid for Windows and it's on the same computer that I originally installed it on. I simply moved it to a different drive. And what I did was to clone the 1 terabyte drive onto the 2 terabyte drive. And that apparently creates a few small issues. It makes your computer think that you're still using the original drive, which is fine for the most part. The problem that I had was I'm going to use the one, the old original drive. I'm going to use it to run a small server. So I needed to get rid of Windows and all the data and shit that's on it. So I did what I always do whenever I need to wipe a hard drive. I plugged it in as a slave or a secondary drive. SATA doesn't have master and slave relationships. I plug it in as a second hard drive in my computer and go to boot it up. And the computer doesn't even skip a beat. It boots straight into Windows, but the desktop was different. And I noticed that, basically I realized that it booted up the single terabyte drive. And everything worked flawlessly because nothing on the computer had changed, no hardware changes or anything like that. And so I was like, oh shit. So I go and change the BIOS and basically tell the motherboard to look at the 2 terabyte drive, and it's not there. I reboot and look for it as a secondary drive, and it's not there. Needless to say, I was less than happy. And I think what it did was to delete or change somehow the master boot record, which is basically bad. There's a utility that you can access by inserting your Windows disk and doing some magical shit that will let you rebuild master boot records. And basically, if you crater a hard drive, it'll give you a shot at fixing it. I could not get that to load for whatever reason. And I was getting kind of irritated. And then I found out that by removing the single drive and putting in the 2 terabyte drive, Windows would boot like it would with the single in it. So as far as Windows was concerned, nothing had changed, which was the point all along with the cloning procedure. That allowed me to reassure myself because the data is all still there. I was able to look at disk usage and stuff. So, no, I'm sorry. Actually, it never did load. Because I couldn't get into the utilities thing, I reinstalled. I tried to reinstall Windows on it, and it came up and said there's an existing version of Windows. If you continue, it will put everything from that version of Windows into Windows.old, which is how Microsoft has set Windows to update itself. So if you can install Windows on top of Windows, you'll only have the new version of Windows, but you won't lose any of your data. There's a very small amount of stuff that will get deleted. I know that all the data was still there after I reinstalled it. Damn, I can't see shit. So, I haven't actually lost anything, but I had to reinstall everything, and I recently got all of my stuff booted over to a 1 terabyte external drive, and so now I have to go back and I'm going to reinstall Windows again and tell it to format the drive before it does it, to just clean everything out. I'm doing it that way for a reason. I just can't remember. Like, I decided to do it. I can't remember why I'm going to do it that way. But I am. Oh, because I'm putting a different version of Windows on there. Duh. I'm going to put a new version on it. So I've still got everything. It's just not there, and I have to reload Windows and reinstall everything, and it's going to be a giant, epic pain in the ass. But it's a learning process, and what I've learned is if you are cloning drives, which is useful if you, especially if you're working in IT, and say you have to set up, well, a perfect example, the computer lab that I just left has about 50 computers, no, it's like 35 computers in it, and they're all identical, the same hardware, same software, same everything. When you are building these computers, what you can do is take the hard drives out of them, and you set one up, and then you can clone that hard drive to every other hard drive there is. It's significantly faster than installing everything. Like, it'd take you a day or two to install Windows and all the programs that we have on those computers, of, you know, a day or so of good long day work. You can clone the drive in about an hour, depending on your processor speed, your hard drive read-write speeds and stuff like that. So in that day or two, you could do 15 or 20 drives versus a day or so each. Okay, so it's good to know how to do it, and it does have a use. What you cannot do is clone a drive and then plug it into another computer with the same drive, you know, plug it into one with another clone. Windows 7 really didn't like that. There might actually be a way to do it, but I don't know how, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. But yeah, I managed to foobar my entire freaking setup.